exciting news. And all right, continue. All right. So I'll be Ray for the time being and start us with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. All right, good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It is my pleasure to host this special meeting this evening. I want to welcome any guests. Let me see if we have any guests. That's a negative. No guests. Dignitary, Jan Green. Jan, introduce yourself and say a few words.
Good evening. My role as area director will be over in 2 days.
Yay!
I learned a lot. Thank you for treating me as a dignitary, but I really appreciate all the support from you.
Yeah, you'll always be a dignitary to us and a superstar. So we appreciate your support. And thank you so much for supporting the club. All right, so I'll move to our mission statement. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutual supportive and positive learning experience in which every member can develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. Now, the meeting format is exactly as indicated on the agenda. We will have our outgoing officers provide a 1 to 2 minute speech that introduce the new officer assuming their role. Our new officers will then give a 46-minute presentation about their role. I did challenge the executive team with 2 questions. 1, how do you plan to elevate your role? 2, how do you plan on encouraging someone else to assume your role? We also wanted our Toastmasters to better understand the roles of the officers. After all the officers have spoken, we will conduct the induction ceremony, followed by the last word from our immediate past president, highlighting our milestone for the year of COVID-19. Toastmaster Stacey Kessler, please provide us with the invocation.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our dignitary for the next 3 days. How exciting for you, Hyun. I know that was a huge accolade this year. We never know what we're stepping into when we are saying yes to a role, right, Hyun? So I'm going to start the invocation with you, Hyun. Our word of the day for this particular moment in the invocation is going to be metamorphosis. And I'm going to ask you, Hyun, what we're going to do is we're going to play with this invocation a little bit. So its invocation is going to start with Hyun, and then I'm going to just go ahead and allow her to speak, and then I will say a sentence, and somebody else will fill in the blanks, and I'll call on your name, and then we will let that person speak, and then I will call on another person, and that person will create a story. We're going to create a story in this invocation, an inspirational story, okay? So Hyun Green, the word of the day is metamorphosis for this topic, and we would love for you to share your experience as an area director and how you became the metamorphosis of transformation from that experience.
Certainly, what an appropriate question at this time of my area director career. You were so right when you said when we say yes, we don't know what we get ourselves into. But I'm glad I did say yes, because in the past 1 year, I learned so much. It was truly a metamorphosis.
11 o'clock.
I'm done.
Stacey, you're muted.
Shay Graves, in your position as the Vice President of Education, could you share with us what your metamorphosis has been?
Stacey, you're muted.
Shay Graves, in your position as the Vice President of Education, could you share with us what your metamorphosis has been?
Thank you. My metamorphosis has been learning about the impact of leaning into the moment and not ordering or overthinking or overanalyzing my words and my influence. It just coming from my excitement and passion about seeing growth and opportunity through my relationships and through the things I care about most. And that's what made BP of Education such a pleasure and an opportunity to metamorph.
Toastmaster Justin, what is your biggest inspiration that has brought you to where you are today since we've experienced this transformational world of going from COVID-19 till now?
So what is my biggest inspiration?
What's your inspiration? What could you share with us in this moment that we would be inspired by? What were your lessons? What did you learn? How could you inspire us this evening?
I think the best thing that I had learned from COVID-19 is try to make the best out of a bad thing. You know, I always try to look on the positive side of things all the time. I feel like I'm a fairly optimistic guy and always looking for the positives and even negative events in your life. And I feel like that's something that we always got to strive to do to just be happy, really. You know, I think if you constantly take things and play victim and, you know, be down upon yourself when things happen to you, then, you know, it's not going to be a great life for yourself. So I always told my kids, you know, and I've always heard the same thing, is that, you know, life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you deal with it. So it's a matter of your paradigm, how you look at the world, and making the best out of a bad thing.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. And Toastmaster Mark Kessler, if you were a caterpillar in a cocoon, finish that sentence.
If I were a caterpillar in a cocoon, I would most certainly, indubitably, consist of goo. Within the goo would be all the transformative ingredients to create one of the most metamorphosisated, intellectually ungrounded, totally unified person that would evolve into a magnificent, monumental butterfly. From that point, I would spread joy and love throughout the universe with the flutter of my wings. I would just send the vibrational love everywhere to everyone so that they can encompass themselves in pure love. I'm complete.
Yay. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, our president, our current president, Shastri Stewart. Thank you for all of you for participating this evening. As Jack came in perfectly perfect with his butterfly wings as he transforms into this metamorphosis.
And Stacy, if you want to do two more, since we don't have Ray on there, you could, if you want to.
Okay, perfect. Toastmaster Jack Miller, spread your wings and fly. Where are you going? Unmute yourself, Jack. That is a funny picture of Jack.
You'll be better prepared to fly with me and travel this adventure if you can hear what I'm about to say. You're going to gather wings of an angel, and we're going to take off, and we're going to visit some of these other planets and other celestial neighborhoods and realize that the guys out there aren't out to get us. They're out to teach us. They're coming here. They're letting us know things, but we can't see them. We can listen. We fly with our ears. We fly with our mind. We fly with our hearts, taking time to listen to what the angelic messengers are there to teach us, to show us, and to guide us. Because it's a peaceful universe. It isn't a war universe. There's all this crazy stuff about UFOs and like foreign technologies. And if they're smart enough to get here, they're smart enough to help us, not hurt us. So let's fly with them. Let's fly with our souls. Let's fly with our life and be happy. I'm complete.
Yay. Thank you, Toastmaster Jack. And Toastmaster Gary, you've just landed on the planet from this UFO, and you are that Martian that Jack was just talking about. Can you share what your experience is?
Coming from out of space, the first thing that I notice is all the greenery and the oceans as I come in to land on Earth. And it's amazing how much of that is being taken over by this weird species that's inhabiting the Earth. So the first thing I'm going to do is observe them and see how I can help them continue to build a clean environment and keep the environment clean so that they don't become like our planet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gary. That was beautiful. Thank you for that story, inspirational story that you all created and we all co-created together. Back to you, Toastmaster Shastri Stewart.
All right, thank you, Stacy. Thank you for that inspirational invocation and impromptu invocation. Thank you so much. All right, so I'll move on to our general timer. Jan, please provide us with the timing signals for our new officer presentation, which will be 4 to 6 minutes.
That's right. New officers, you know the signals. I am going to flash green, yellow, red in due order. So please watch me.
Okay, and then also our past officer speech will be 1 to 2 minutes. I'll suggest that you pin our general timer so that you're able to see her. Okay, so moving on, since Ray is not here, we'll move on to our VP of Membership, Micheline Nembart. Micheline has done an incredible job with our calendars. She's also created this birthday thing that she sends out during anyone's birthday via email and also via text. She's also keeping in touch with our guests and keep them informed. She's done a fabulous job so far. And I'd like to introduce to you Micheline Nembart, our VP of Membership.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmasters, Jan Green and Shastri and Stacy, and all our officers. It seems like it's an officer day. Mark, one day you will become an officer too. Looking forward to it. So thank you again. As I am VP of Membership, I still don't believe it, but I've written a little speech and I'm going to read from it. I know this is not Toastmasters like, but I do not want to miss anything that I wrote down. So thank you, Wellington Toastmasters members, for this prestigious opportunity to serve as VP of Membership once again. As I look back at my 3-year journey as Toastmaster, I smile with happiness and delight in my heart that this has been the best investment that I have ever done on personal growth and development. I have seen tremendous improvement in my self-image. The skills and confidence I have learned is so effective. It's made me express myself in any environment, whether it's social or professional. Today is a prime example that I did several training meetings for my employees with hundreds of employees online. And I would say if this was done 2 years ago, I would have had sweats, heart failure maybe. I would have been stumped. It would have been impossible to me to even utter one word, much as a complete sentence. But it is a testimony that Toastmaster is a best investment someone can ever do for their personal growth. So I thank you for your support in the club, because each week I come on Mondays, I look to you for support, and I look for your comments and opportunities and how I can be better, how I can improve my speech delivery, whether it's vocal variety or body language and so forth. So I thank you. Now let me get to the roles as a VP of membership. First, it's to initiate contact with guests and help members feel welcome. I think I do that well. Provide hospitality and membership information for guests. Reply to all communications from prospective members in timely manner. Manage the process of converting a guest to a member. Monitor membership levels and strategies with the club executive committee to cover membership challenges when they occur. Conduct membership building programs, promote the club and recruit new members. Hold yourself, myself, and you accountable, and remain current with a leadership letter. Not sure about that one, but that's a good thing that I can think of doing next. The skills I've learned is marketing, networking and relationship building, strategic planning, critical thinking is a big one, internal and external communication skills, organization, that is very important, and problem solving. Positive small group collaboration, succession planning, and compliance with standard procedures. Okay. Well, Shashri gave us 2 things that we need to think of, and that is how we will elevate the club. And how I plan to elevate the club is being transparent and also being consistent in following up with members and prospective members, as well as former members. And also think outside of the box. I think that we cannot always stay the same and do the same thing, but think of creative ways in how we can communicate with members. And how I will transfer or pass this baton on to someone else, I am looking for someone to step in the role at the end of October. So anyone wants to raise their hand, please let me know if you want to be my assistant. I welcome it because we need a lot more people on this team. So I thank you all and pass it back on to Toastmaster Shashri.
Thank you, Micheline. Awesome job and awesome delivery. You've done a wonderful job as a VP of membership, and you'll continue to do a wonderful job. So thank you for staying on. So I'll move on to our outgoing treasurer, Jack Miller. I mean, what can I say about Jack? Jack has gotten us high with his ideas. Wink, 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 pun intended. And he's so filled with ideas. Whenever we have our executive meeting, he always have these clever ideas to include everyone, to be inclusive. And I really do appreciate that from Jack. Jack also made sure that we turned in our required documents for October so that we're able to get our one of our goals. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Jack Miller so he could formally introduce his new treasurer. Jack?
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. Well, I guess the best way I can do it is say I'm everything Micheline just talked about times 10%. Understand that. I appreciate all of you. It's been fun watching the club grow, growing with the club, and seeing the advancement that we're all making in our personal lives. And Toastmasters is a tool for advancement, to become a little more aware of everything, to learn new passions, to talk about new things, exciting ideas. As treasurer, I can't say I was a great treasurer. No one would ever say that. You can look at my personal records and see that. But it was been a great opportunity of responsibility, of learning a few things to move forward and to help the group, to get to know everybody, to file a lot of the new members in the computer in the program. And but I'm really thankful to be turning it over to someone that does know something about accounting, that knows how to balance books, that works for one of the biggest bookkeeping agencies in the world. And that's our own Justin Gwynn here. So let's hear a round for him, and a great deal of thanks. Justin, you may want to join us here. Is that appropriate in the way we do this? There you are.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you, Jack. Much appreciated. I'm honored and happy to take over this role as treasurer. It's actually the second treasurer position I'm taking over for a non-for-profit this year, including my own homeowners association. They're also pretty pleased that, to have a CPA for a large firm to come and assist. As this is something I do on a day-to-day basis with my job, I basically assist a variety of different companies in ensuring they have proper procedures and controls in place and systems in place to adequately and accurately capture their transactions. Now, with Toastmasters, as you can imagine, our transactions are not overly complex. We have dues coming in, some dues going out to international, and some expenses here and there. So it's not overly complex, but I certainly feel like there's some improvements and some changes that we can make, and I hope to implement during my time as treasurer. Treasurer, unfortunately, for most not-for-profit organizations and a lot of organizations, treasurer has some administrative red tape behind it that oftentimes you'll see treasurer perform their role for numerous years. So we appreciate Jack and his contribution, certainly. And I certainly don't see this as a one-year role for myself, neither for this one or for my HOA treasurer position, but I would like to share some thoughts with you on how I think we can improve a few things. I've previously met with Jack, and he shared some things that he's been doing, and I wanted to share briefly with you guys some of the things that I hope to implement, so to better have some accountability of the transactions that we have within the organization. So I'm going to share my screen here. Which one is it? There it is. Share. Can you all see my screen? Thumbs up? Thumbs up. Wonderful. Okay, great. So who's ready to do some debits and credits? Who's excited about accounting? I got to make treasurer report, sound awesome. Sonia's with me. I got Sonia on board. Yes. All right, I got one. So basically what we have here and what Jack has been doing, we basically have had a roster dues schedule that Jack has shared with me before in terms of tracking individuals, when they made the payments and what they're paid through and up until. So I've expanded upon this to show not only that, but then a reference number in terms of checks coming in, and then also associated that with payments going out. And then what I intend to do on a monthly basis is to take the bank statements that we have, and this is actually some actual data that we have from late 2020, and then I have some illustrative data as well. But basically this represents the transactions within the bank statements, debits of amounts going out and credits of amounts coming in. So we have the deposits that we've recognized, so take the month for September. couple of different transactions where we have money coming in and a variety of different transactions where we have money coming out. What I plan to do is associate these transactions with the individual supporting detail. So you'll see here, these amounts that we have here, these renewal amounts of money that we've paid to IA International, Toastmaster International, and then the associated credits that are coming in. So I took this information and I've split that out, and I plan to do this on a monthly basis, split this out into what that amount makes up of. And this is really just illustrative data of here's the payments that we have, and here's the members that they are associated with in those specific amounts. So this basically shows from revenues coming in, reference numbers going into the actual checking and being recognized within here into the debits and credits to have a bit more detailed transaction end to end, so you can see kind of how when money comes in then flows to the bank statements. So for each month I intend on doing that, the different GL categories to each one of these items. So if we have revenues or if we have a variety of different expenses, what those are classified as. And then on a monthly basis, taking these amounts, and you'll see this here, 926 and 780 coming over here. Here's that 780, and there's a 926 of P&L. So I'm putting this into an income and expenses tab where we then associate for each month that occurs, what the revenues are that we have, what the expenses are that we have, and hopefully try to associate that with a budget that we have as well to compare our actual year to date with the budget that we have. Everybody still with me on debits and credits? I think Mark fell asleep. That's okay, Mark, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, good. See, debits and credits, you love it.
It's way above me. I don't get this. It's too much number.
It's exciting stuff. I mean, this really, like, I get excited. You can already tell in my voice. I'm like, yes, debits and credits. Sonia's like, yes, debits and credits. That she's probably already figured out something that didn't tie right, but that'll happen. Anyway, that's what I got. I hope to improve this and take this to kind of the next level and make sure that we have accountability. I also wanted to put in place, you know, I can perform this reconciliation on a monthly basis, but it's always very key to have somebody else involved that then reviews it. You know, Shay's yawning. It's okay, Shay. Just, you know, debits and credits are for everybody. But they are for me, and I'm excited to be your treasurer. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Justin, for that informational presentation. I'm sure Sonia had a lot of fun watching that presentation and enjoyed it thoroughly. So thank you for that. And I know that you'll do an amazing job as treasurer. So thank you. All right, so I'll move on to our VP of Public Relations. Now, that's a role that we had filled halfway through the year after Henry. And Gary Nooper was the one who assumed the role, took the responsibility, and really improved our consistency for uploading our YouTube videos. And then also he's been very instrumental with our hybrid format. So thank you, Gary. He's a technical person. He loves computers just like me, but he's much more versed in computers than I am. So it's a gift to have him in this role. So I'm going to introduce you to the one and only Gary Nooper.
Thank you, Toastmaster and President Shastri Stewart, for that wonderful introduction. I would just say, if the club's looking for a bank account, Toastmaster Justin, I can help you out. Just doing some PR for my company. I would like to start out by saying that I'm really, really grateful to be part of such an amazing club. I think we've heard that from numerous people, just what an amazing club this is. And I've lived that out with each and every one of you, having been club members and working on the executive team with all of you. It's really been a wonderful opportunity to work alongside some really outstanding people. I think the leadership of the club has been phenomenal, starting with Toastmaster Stacy, and then shifting to Toastmaster Shastri. I think it's really been great just having such amazing leadership for the club, as well as personally as mentors. Lastly, I'm really grateful to be able to serve in this role and be able to help support the club in this role and to continue to strengthen the club. By show of hands from all of you on the meeting this evening, how many of you are on social media on a daily basis? We'll have to audit a few of you. But I think you'll all acknowledge what an important role social media plays in our lives. And whether it's social media or simply the internet, we're all using it constantly, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or even Google Maps, just to try and find something. That brings me to the details of the role of public relations. The core function of this role is to bring awareness of the club and of the events that the club is hosting to our members and to our future guests and future members. Going forward into this year, some of the things that I would like to do is I would like to be more consistent with a Facebook or Instagram post that we can use to promote something going on in the club. I would like to commit to having the YouTube videos uploaded within two weeks of the meeting in which they were recorded. I would like to continue building out the club's templates in the Canva platform, which is what we use for some of the creative art, and be able to share that with other members in the club that would like to use that platform. And then I would also like to work on developing a club newsletter. I think that's something that can really add benefit to our members and get in contact with some of the members that maybe aren't as active in the club as we'd like them to be. Having said that, I would like to look at each one of you and say, public relations is not a single person role. Every one of you is involved in public relations for the club on a daily basis, whether it's talking to that coworker at the water fountain or the coffee machine, or whether it's bumping into your neighbor in the street. This is something that each of us can play an important role in building out within the club. We all have very unique skills and different insights and perspectives, and so we can connect with people in different ways. I'm always open to feedback from the club point of view. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm not the most creative person. So I'm very open to feedback and to comments and suggestions and ideas for how I can continue to develop the role. The one thing that I would say to anyone that's interested in learning more about this role going forward is it is a tremendous learning experience to see how some of the back-end functions of social media work. I didn't know all the details that were available for a club admin on Facebook, and seeing all the details that you learn from the back end that you'd never see as just a casual social media user. I've also been surprised with the amount of details that you get from hosting a YouTube channel. And none of those are things that I would have learned by just being a club member. So I applaud anyone that would like to learn more about that. I'd be very happy to teach you and share more about the role and some of the social media aspects with you. And I would like to thank Shay as well for being a great mentor from the social media aspect. She's really been a huge support for me and has continued to push me. And Shay, don't stop pushing me. It's a great honor to work with all of you wonderful people and to continue to support the club. Back to you, President Shastri.
Awesome presentation, Gary. And I know that you like to say that you're not creative. I think you are creative, you just don't know it yet. And I believe that this role will make you discover that creativity. So awesome job, awesome delivery, very good nuggets about public relation role. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll move on to our outgoing secretary, Sonia Garate, will have 1 to 2 minutes to pass the torch.
Thank you, President Shastri. So first, let me just say a few words about my role as secretary, which is that I stepped into the role with some hesitation, but boy, am I glad that I did. So I've been in this role for approximately 2 years, but I didn't serve for those full 2 years. Micheline Nemhart stepped in when I stepped out to have a baby. And I want to thank her for her support and also for allowing me to seamlessly do that and step away and seamlessly step back in. So first, thank you, Micheline, very much. Now, the role of secretary is not visible as the other officer roles are. For example, president, sergeant of arms, VP of membership, they communicate with the members basically every meeting. But secretary is one of those behind the scenes roles that is very valuable because it provides accountability. And that's something that I learned. And that's something that your incoming secretary has in abundance. Toastmaster Michelle Gonzalez is focused on details. And when she says something, it's going to happen. She says what she means. And so she is the perfect person to step into this role and to guide our new executive team, hold them accountable, and to bring all of her great ideas and creativity to the role of secretary. So let's please welcome our incoming secretary, Toastmaster Michelle Gonzalez.
Yay! Power to the people. Guys, close your eyes right now. If you can think about a Monday evening without Toastmasters and not feel an emptiness, a withdrawal, then you really love Toastmasters. If I were to tell you that from September to now, that I would be in this place having so much fun, I would have not believed it. COVID transformed our lives. It transformed my life. I was in a cocoon. You were all in cocoons. And when we found Toastmaster, it's as if our wings were forced through the chrysalis to born this beautiful, airy creature. And I thank you guys for investing in me, because it's not often that I am with people in this social capacity. You may think otherwise about my role here. I'm in my garage. I stay here a lot, but I so look forward to Toastmasters. And if there's one thing that I will do, I will try to communicate to anyone that I meet. It's like if I'm witnessing, Toastmasters is a good place to be. I have learned leadership. It's not about titles. Not because I'm a secretary, I'm senior to anybody. It's not about my status. It's about my ability to engender people, to help them be happy, to help them do, and to help them grow. According to a quote I read, transformational leadership is about using your actions to elevate others and to put them on their path to greatness. Accepting this role, as Sonia rightly said, and she's passing the baton onto me, it seems invisible, but it means a lot that you have entrusted me in the secrecy of the secretary to keep all your records. I am so thankful. I'm thankful for Shay for always encouraging me to bust out of that chrysalis. I'm thankful for Stacy, who's always looking after me. And more than that, I'm grateful that my mentor has found a power in me that I did not know for myself. Thank you so much for giving me that confidence. And I want to serve. I want to serve. And service is the best way to do anything. You lead by serving, and that's what I want to do. I want to elevate the club as a secretary. I want to bring integrity to my position, respect to each member, service again. I want to encourage anybody who comes on here, visitor or anybody, that they can assume roles. I was so intimidated coming on here and even accepting the role of secretary, but you guys have empowered me. I want to support each functionary role. I want to support the VP of Public Relations, the treasurer, the president, the VP of membership in any way that I can, big or small. I want to be able to keep reports good. You know, I always walk around with a book, but I'll tell you guys about that in a speech I have. I walk around with a book. It's not because I'm a secretary. It's because I'm always learning new words. So, but I always get in these roles sometimes as secretary. I don't think I'm a good one, but thanks so much for believing in me. Toastmasters, I thank you. I'm a little emotional because it's very intimidating, but I thank you so much for affording me this pleasure.
Wow, what a moving speech, Michelle. And I'm so thankful to have your type of energy. You're like the firecracker of Wellington Toastmasters. Whenever you add the physical location, I feel this energy. When you're on the Zoom platform, I feel this energy. Now I was a little bit down that you just spoke. I'm just energized. It's like you're a battery or something. I'm not sure. And I'm so thankful that you're the secretary of Wellington Toastmasters. You're such a fascinating person, and I congratulate you. I believe that you will do an awesome job. Thank you.
I nominate her for be the VPM next.
Our outgoing VP of Education, Shay Greaves. Now, I have a few things I want to say about Shay. I'll leave it for the back end. So Shay, go ahead and introduce our new VP of Education.
Thank you, President Shastri. So I have had the honor to serve as VP of Education, which kind of fits in the seams of each and every role and the fluidity of the club. I have the honor also of now inviting and passing on the torch to Sonia Harate, and I couldn't think of a more perfect fit. Sonia embodies, I had words, I don't have them, but I'm just gonna speak from the heart. Sonia embodies excellence. It's her attention to detail, but not only that, it's the way that she refreshingly challenges you to see an opportunity to step into, but from such a humorous, playful, and light way of approaching it. She draws you in just with her innocence and with her delightful temperament. And so I think this opportunity will get to see Sonia grow and inspire the club in many different ways. I just want us to warmly welcome Sonia Harate to the platform.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shay. So I'm excited to be VP of Education. Again, it's a role that I did not expect, and I feel like the shoes are this big, and maybe my foot right now is this big. So we will have some growing to do. And so Shay, you have been a wonderful leader in this role and have demonstrated what a unique role it is, and I'm excited to take it on. Now, VP of Education means that I get to be the whip on the horse, on the racehorse, and get you guys over the finish line. And the finish line is pathways. So it's not a racetrack, it's a pathway track. We can think of that. And so I envision VP of Education is trying to get us to complete as many pathways projects as we can and to encourage us to complete our speeches. So per the responsibilities list, a VP of Education is supposed to hold yourself and other officers accountable. And that is something that I believe is the most valuable function of my role. So when we say that we will sign up for a speech, or when we say that we will complete a role, to remind us, to encourage us, and to support us to do that. Also, one of the pieces that I'm excited about is the mentor program. I can say that I am where I am today because of my mentor, Toastmaster Stacy Kessler, and all of you who all have pushed me along the way, be it your chat feedback, be it a phone call, maybe a dinner at someone's house, Ms. Hyon Green. Any small push that you have given me has gotten me to this place today. And so I value the mentor program. And I have a few ideas about how we can continue the great work of Shay and also build on that. So I want to make sure that each new member coming in has a mentor immediately as they step in. And I also want to encourage some of you who may not think that you can be mentors to go ahead and step into that if you're not already. So when I became a mentor at first, I thought, I don't think I can guide someone. I don't think I'm ready. But then when you step into it, you think, oh, this is such a growing experience for me as a mentor and for the mentee. So I want as many of our members as possible to hold a role of mentorship. Part of my role as VPE is also to give evaluations of our speeches and projects and to give feedback to evaluators, to kind of be the poster child of giving good evaluations, focusing on strengths and weaknesses. That is also a challenge that I take on because I think the reason we're here is to get the feedback from Toastmasters, not only of the strengths, but of the weaknesses, and to say it well and to say it constructively. So that is something I look forward to as VP of Education. Some skills that I think I will develop, and I think Secretary has already led me to, is problem solving and organization, of course. Shay has shown us how she keeps track of all the members. She is very involved in your progress, and I plan to continue that and to be personally committed to each member and to care about each person's journey in Toastmasters. Also, motivating others. That is something that was a challenge for me, I think still is. Motivation in terms of pushing without pushing someone off the cliff to resentfulness is always a challenge. Pushing before they become frustrated. And that I could see in my personal life with my children, with my spouse, and of course, here in Toastmasters. So that is a skill that I hope you can help me develop. And if I push too hard, you let me know. And carefully tell me, you know what, maybe we could try a different way. But I do look forward to this role as VP of Education, and I am so glad to be in this wonderful group at Wellington Toastmasters. Thank you so much.
And Sonia, we're so thankful to have you as the VP of Education. Whenever we had our executive committee meetings, whenever we came up with an idea, maybe Jack, You're always the one bringing us back and saying, well, is that really a good idea? Let's think about it. So I really appreciate that from you, and wonderful introduction, wonderful speech, and hopefully you'll do an amazing job. Well, I know you'll do an amazing job. All right, so moving on. All right, so I guess it's me next, huh? All right, passing the torch. All right, so when I was thinking about the person that would assume the president role, I thought of a few words: dedication, visionary, compassion, intellect. Let's start with dedication. She has been just as dedicated as anyone in the club, sometimes even more. Participating in other clubs, reaching out, networking, etc. She even won the Shining Star Award for our division. So when I thought of the word dedication, she came to mind. Visionary. She has such wonderful ideas, not only having an elite club, but also wanting to volunteer outside, doing joint meetings, theme meetings, changing things up. So when I thought of the word visionary, Shay came to mind. Compassion. Sonia said it perfectly. Shay is like the mom of the club, always reaching out to see how everyone is doing, getting to know people, sending an uplifting text. So when I thought of the word compassion, Shay came to mind. Intellect. I still remember Shay's first meeting at Toastmasters. Her articulation was masterful. I even went up and told her, I love the way you spoke. I told her that. She's extremely detailed oriented. So when I thought of the word intellect, Shay came to mind. I've never mentioned my intention of Shay becoming president of Wellington Toastmasters until late, because it is something I wanted to happen organically. We can all agree, Shay is what Wellington Toastmasters need for us to get to the next level. So I present to you our new president, Shay Greaves.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much, President Shastri. And I thank you so much to the club for the honor of stepping into this role. I ask you to participate. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Toastmasters, I'd like you to really embrace that, because we are the champions. We have come so far as individuals and as a club, and I want you to really feel that. So that's our song. First, I'd like to honor the legacy that has come before me. Stacy Kessler, she championed us as individuals and as a club to see the greatness already within us. Shastri Stewart, ushering us into goal setting, consistency, and accountability. And now, it's my invitation to you as a club to learn with me how to dream bigger. I read a quote once. Every morning you have two choices: continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and chase them. I'd like to change that a little bit. You have two options. Every morning you can continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and activate them. I invite you, Club Wellington, to let's wake up and activate our dreams. As being the president of Toastmasters, There are 3 categories of responsibilities that are my focus. It's the club meeting itself, outside of the club meeting, and the executive committee. The club meeting, consists of our roles, our speeches, which I happily entrust our VP of Education. We get to work as a team, making sure those things stay in line and supporting where needed, and reaching out for resources if necessary and when necessary. That also involves outside of the club meeting, sometimes encouragement, one-on-one chats, but also developing our goals and responsibilities as each individual officer and being able to bring that back to our executive team meetings. So it rolls together very nicely, the executive committee. I get to establish and maintain one-on-one relationships, seeing where I can inspire our club members or encourage our executive members to step into their greatness or to challenge them to see a new angle or something that they may not see. Back to dreaming bigger. My vision, I see a club with no walls, where there is authentic connection and outreach and excellence. That's just our culture, where awkward moments are easily transformed into gold, the gold necessary to fortify our mission statement. The breakdown of this I see is in 3 parts. 1, continued growth of club community. I see that our club is already very cohesive and very supportive, but I challenge us to look at each other outside of just the context of being a Toastmaster and our roles in the meetings, but what does it look like to develop relationship, to ask about our lives and circumstances that may happen randomly, to be available to one another, and to incoming members and incoming guests. 2, club to club relations. I think there is awesome opportunities to establish more consistent relationship with other clubs, being available to support them at their meetings, being available and invitational for them to come and support us at our meetings. Lastly, community projects. There's an opportunity as a Toastmaster to start community initiatives or community-based projects. One of them is called a youth the wording I get a little mixed up, so I'm just youth leadership program. It's the opportunity to partner with a certain club or not a certain club, but a school or a school setting, school program to help young leaders develop through our Toastmaster skills. And then finally, I just want to repeat our quote. Every morning you have 2 choices. Continue to sleep with your dreams or wake up and activate them. Are you ready to activate your dreams with me? Thank you, Toastmaster.
Awesome, exciting times. Now we have the dream team here, and it's about this time to induct you into office. So I'll start with our outgoing club officers. If you could please stand. We want to thank you for the work that you've done this year and for the work you will continue to do for the club. As of June 30th, you are discharged from all further duties and responsibilities as officers of Wellington Toastmasters. Now you can be please seated. Incoming officers, please stand. I'm here to install the officers of Wellington Toastmasters Club and to prepare them for the exciting growth that lie ahead. Their collective mission is to make this club strong, dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to speak in an effective manner. Listen with sensitivity and think creatively. I will ask each officer to hold the imaginary gavel as a symbol of leadership. I briefly describe the mission he or she must meet and the responsibilities he or she must fulfill. I hand the gavel to our Sergeant of Arms. He's not here, so we'll skip him for now. I'll pass the gavel to our Treasurer, Justin Gwynn. And that, whenever I say pass the gavel, that means you could unmute yourself. As treasurer, you are responsible for club financial policies, procedures, and controls. You will receive and disperse, with the approval of this club, all club funds. Pay to Toastmasters International all financial obligations of this club as they come due, and keep an accurate account of all transactions. Will you perform your duties to the best of your ability? Say, I will.
I will.
Awesome. I pass the gavel to the secretary, our new secretary, Michelle Gonzalez Hill. As secretary, you are responsible for club records and correspondence. Will you perform your duties to the best of your ability? Say, I will.
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. I pass the gavel to the Vice President of Public Relations, Gary Nooper. As Vice President of Public Relations, you are responsible for developing and directing a publicity program that informs individual members and the public about Wellington Toastmasters. Will you perform your duties to the best of your ability? Say, I will.
I will.
Awesome. I pass the gavel to the Vice President of Membership, Micheline Nembart. As the Vice President of Membership, you are responsible for planning, organizing, and directing a program that ensures individual member retention and growth in club individual membership. Will you perform your duties to the best of your ability? Say, I will.
I will.
Awesome. Thank you, Shalene. Pass the gavel to the Vice President of Education, Sonia Garate. As Vice President of Education, you are responsible for planning, organizing, and directing Wellington Toastmasters to meet the educational needs of the individual members. Will you perform your duties to the best of your ability? Say, I will.
I will.
Pass the gavel to the club president, our new club president, Shay Greaves. Having been selected or elected the president of the Wellington Toastmasters Club, you are its chief executive officer and are expected to preside on all club meetings and at all regular and special meetings of your executive committee. It is your mission to see that this club enables its members to achieve their educational goal. It is also your mission to see that your club or our club help the area, division, district, and Toastmasters International to meet their goals. Please accept the gavel as a symbol of your leadership and dedication and passing of the torch. The gavel is a symbol of the power and authority given to you by the membership of this club. Use it wisely and with restraint. You are a member of your team as well as a leader. A team is more than a collection of people. It is an emotional force rooted in feelings, thoughts, and actions of all members with the common goal of achievement, sharing, and mutual support. Work with your team members to create a healthy, dynamic club, a club of which everyone is proud. Will you, as president, accept this challenge and perform your duties to the best of your ability? Say, I will.
I will.
Awesome. It is now my pleasure to declare these Toastmasters installed in the officers to which they have been elected. Will all members please stand? The growth and development of the Toastmasters program in Wellington Toastmasters Club depends largely upon the actions of this group. On your honor as men and women of Toastmasters, do you pledge to stand by this club, live with it, and work with it throughout the coming year, individually and collectively? Say yes.
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 Awesome. Now you may be seated. Thank you. right. Oops. Okay. So now it's 8 o'clock. I wanted to reserve the last spot for me to speak because I heard something Simon Sinek said a couple years back when he said, always be the last to speak as a leader. I want to share a few things that we've achieved in the past year, the year of COVID-19, the most difficult year for many people. We had 10 goals to achieve during the year. And when I asked the team, what should we aim for? Sonia raised her hand and said, we should go for the win. Let's aim for all 10. Well, I have news for you. We achieved 9 out of 10 goals. Now, as I was browsing the Toastmasters International website and looking at the other clubs, we're in Division D. We have 30 clubs in Division D. Out of the 30 clubs, 7 were President Distinguished clubs. And Wellington Toastmasters was one of those clubs. So congratulations to you all. In regards to retention and membership, the only club that came close to the amount of new members added for the year, which was 8, was the Riverwalk, which they added 12. There was no other member, no other club out of the 30 that even came close. So awesome job. That's a testament to you all. Okay. So I believe we achieved that without even trying. So I think if we try, it will be extremely scary. And I believe that we could do it. We have a dream team with Shay at the lead, and I think that we're able to do that. I do want to share one last thought. The most difficult thing to accept as a leader is the fact that it is not about you. It's not about your ideas. You become a leader when you know your value. There is no need to feel insecure if other people shine. If their ideas take the stage, you will know your value when they start reflecting your glow without the need to tell them. Leader and giver are the same words written with different letters. I love you, Wellington Toastmasters. I love you, new inducted officers. I love you, mentor of mentors, Stacy Kessler. I do not know where I would be in the past year without your guidance. You've been my compass, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Thank you. 2021. All right, awesome. I'll leave the floor open if anyone else wants to suggest or add any additional comments.
Great dream team. Awesome. Everyone's speech was awesome. So thank you.
Yes, I want to thank everybody, and I also want to let everybody know that in the next July issue of the Orange Peel Gazette will be in there, so pick it up when you see it and look for our tag. I did try on the ad the little, what do they call the
QR code.
the code, yes, the QR code, and it worked just fine even over the computer. So
thank you, Jack.
I just want to say congratulations to each and every one of you for stepping into, let's just say, from going to the sticky that Mark was speaking to earlier and flying your wings like beautiful butterflies, every single one of you. Thank you. It's such an honor and a privilege to witness the evolution of each one of your growth. And I'm excited for this up and coming year in witnessing the platform that you all are creating as the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. And I just want to say this all started with Stacy providing a firm foundation for us to grow. So now we have a very sturdy, stable foundation. I believe the sky is the limit. So thank you, Stacy, for your support in the background as well. All right, so it's 8:05. We ended on time, all about time management. Awesome. So thank you for joining us today. And next week, we will not have a meeting because of 4th of July. So enjoy the family. Sonia, enjoy the baby. Mark, don't get too crazy.